Welcome to the quick demo video of the Adaptive Interface's ETM100 engine temperature monitor. The ETM100 is an instrument that can display both exhaust gas temperature and cylinder head temperature on a single channel or a single cylinder on an engine. The instrument is currently showing two temperatures, EGT and CHT, and they're roughly close, and they are actually showing room temperature because the instrument right now is not connected to a running engine. But one of the features of this instrument that you can see is that it does display temperatures actually all the way down to freezing up to the running temperature of the engine, which is a feature a lot of other instruments that do similar readings don't do. Most EGT, CHT meters don't really start showing temperature until you're up running a warm engine, up several hundred degrees. Just to do a quick demo of the instrument, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and warm up these thermocouples that are attached to the instrument and just kind of show that it can display higher temperatures when the thermocouples are warmed up. Again, we're not connected to a running engine, so we can't get really high temperature values, but we can get some high enough temperatures to demonstrate that the instrument is working. And so let's go into the first function of the instrument while we're displaying higher temperatures. Basically, when the instrument is in its normal operating mode, it can show either EGT and CHT in Fahrenheit, which is its default mode, or if you press the function button, it can actually display these temperatures in degrees Celsius. And that's an option that's available to you. Right now, in the normal operating mode of the instrument, these are the only two functions that we can get into. Basically, we can go from Fahrenheit to Celsius. To show what some of the other buttons on the instrument do, we're actually showing or using an up button and a down button. Right now, if we're displaying temperatures and the instrument is set for a front panel brightness control adjustment, these up and down buttons actually control the brightness of the digital display. As you can see, it can get quite bright, and we'll go ahead and use the down button to lower that brightness. And we'll leave it at the lowest brightness setting because that works best with the video. The fourth button on the instrument is a select or an enter button. Right now it has no function when you're in the main operating mode of the instrument, but it does allow you to select optional values, and we'll get into that right now. To get into our first options settings menu, which we call menu level 1, right now we're in what we call menu level 0. But to get to menu level 1, we will press and hold the function button for about 5 or 8 seconds. As you can see, we're in menu level 1, and we have various options available to us. Right now, the first option is the brightness or display brightness control option settings, and we'll go through those in a moment. The next option available is the auto dim function. The instrument actually has a photocell detector on the front, and it can detect ambient light. And if you go from a dark condition to a bright condition, if you have auto dim turned on, it'll actually bump up the brightness automatically for you if the brightness or the ambient light gets high, or if the ambient light gets low, it'll lower the brightness. Next function is the update rate. The instrument samples temperatures about 250 times a second, but if it were to display them that quickly, if temperatures were fluctuating a little bit, the display numbers would be jumping up and down quite a bit, and that could be a distraction. Therefore, it actually only will change its values right now once every second. And we'll go through the settings that we can go to on those in just in a minute. The next setting is the resolution. Right now it's displaying a 1 degree Fahrenheit or 1 degree Celsius resolution. That can be upped to a 5 degree resolution or a 10 degree resolution. The higher the resolution value, the less the numbers are going to change, because it would actually have to change by 10 degrees in order to change if it was set for 10-degree resolution. We'll again go into that in just a moment. Because it's using two sensors, an exhaust gas temperature sensor and a cylinder head temperature sensor, there may be a case where you either have one or the other but not both. In this case, the exhaust gas temperature sensor can be turned on and off, as well as the cylinder head temperature sensor. The next function is a double arrow return function, and that will bring us back to the main level. Let's first go to the options that we have for the front panel brightness control. Right now it's set for front panel. In other words, it can be controlled by the up and down arrows. Another setting is the photocell setting, if that option is picked, and we can go ahead and do that. Now, instead of being controlled by the up-down arrows, it's actually being controlled by light going to the photocell. We can demonstrate that rather quickly if we go back to our main function, or the main level, where we're displaying temperatures. And it looks like our EGT is still warm, and it's cooling off a little bit slower than the other sensor. But just to show that the temperatures can be, oh, there it goes, going back a little bit. But this to demonstrate that we can control the brightness now by ambient light, what we'll do is we'll shine a light on the photosensor and show what the display does. In other words, when the photocell sees bright light, it automatically brightens the display to make it a little easier to read. So let's go back and change that. Again, we'll get back into option level 1, or menu level 1. We're set for photocell. Our other setting is external. An external voltage input can be put into the back of the instrument and connected to a potentiometer or a brightness control knob that could be mounted on your instrument panel if that's what you wish. And then our other option is the front panel brightness adjust, and we can step through that by using the up-down arrows. And we'll go ahead and set this back to front panel by using the select or the enter button, and the flashing decimal points indicate that the selection has been accepted by the instrument and that it's now been set into the instrument. Let's go to the next function here to demonstrate. Again, this is the auto dim function, and if you're using front panel control, you can actually use the photocell if you want. The options are just on and off for this one. We'll go ahead and leave that off for now. Next one is the update rate. Right now the default is to update every 1 second, but we can actually go down to being updated every half a second or 2 times a second, or we can go up to 5 seconds. So in other words, the numbers on the display will only change every 5 seconds. And again, that's up to the user, whatever you want to set that at. We'll just go ahead and leave it at 1 for now. The next option is the resolution. Right now we're set for a 1 degree resolution. If we want the numbers to not change quite as much and be a distraction, we can up that resolution to either 5 degrees or to 10 degrees. And again, the higher the setting, probably the less that the display is going to change on you, but also you're not going to see as accurate a temperature. In other words, right now, if it was set for 10 degrees, the temperature values would only change in 10-degree increments. We'll go ahead and leave it at 1. And again, we have an option of turning the sensors on or off. In this case, EG is exhaust gas sensor. That can be set to on or off, as well as the cylinder head sensor. And we'll go ahead and leave both of those on for this demo. Now to get to the next option level setting, what we can do is if we're in menu level 1, we can press the function button. Right now it's showing a return to main. Why don't we go ahead and do that? And again, we're back to displaying temperatures. But if we want to get to our next option levels, or menu level, we can go to menu level 2. What we do is we press and hold the function button, We go into menu level 1, press and hold the function button again, and we'll go into menu level 2, and these are the alarm settings. In other words, you can set alarm levels for both exhaust gas temperature and cylinder head temperature if you want, and the instrument, if it reads a higher temperature than your alarm setting, it'll actually flash the display and drive either an audio buzzer or a warning light on the instrument panel if that's what you wish. So right now we're in exhaust gas temperature alarm setting, and we can change those from off to a value of 800 degrees, and that alarm value can be brought all the way up to 1900 degrees. And what we can do is we can tab through the settings. We go through the off setting, and then we can go to 1900, and again, by using the up down arrows, we can set an alarm level anywhere between 900 and or 800 and 1900 degrees. Right now we'll just leave it in the default setting of off. Next function, or the next alarm, is for the cylinder head temperature, and right now it's set for off. And because cylinder head temperature is much less usually than exhaust gas temperature, our alarm levels can be set from 400 degrees if we go back down through the off setting, and 900 degrees. So in other words, if we can set whatever value we want, press the select button, and then the alarm value will be set at that temperature. And again, if it reads a higher temperature than that, it'll give you an alarm setting, or it'll flash the display and let you know that you've got a hot running cylinder or hot running engine. And what we can do here is we will simply go back to the off setting again. And that is the alarm levels. The third level that you can get into are calibration settings. We can step through to show you some of these other functions. A single return arrow will bring you back down one menu level, whereas a double return arrow will bring you back to the main level every time. Let's go back to the main level and then just quickly show how to get into the menu level 3, which is the calibration settings for the instrument. To do that, we press and hold until we see menu level 1, press and hold to get to menu level 2, and finally press and hold to go to menu level 3. And these are the calibration settings. The first setting is what we call a cold cal, and in order to use that calibration setting, both the type J and type K thermocouples, which are used for cylinder head temperature and exhaust gas temperature, need to be immersed in an ice bath. And to do that, you would get a insulated cup, fill it with crushed ice and a little bit of water, and actually immerse both of the thermocouple sensors into the ice. That'll bring the temperature down to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and at that point you can press the select button to calibrate the instrument so that the thermocouples are reading and the instrument is reading 32 degrees. And that's a way of adjusting the calibration of the instrument and setting it to a known temperature, and that'll help make sure that all the other temperatures that are displayed are more accurate. The other thing that can be calibrated on the instrument are the thermocouple amplifiers, and what we can do is disconnect the thermocouples and connect a couple of shorting wires, and those will be the wires that the instrument gets shipped with. And by doing that, connecting the two wires up, you actually zero out the amplifier, and you can set the zero setting by using the function button. In this case, you'd be setting the zero setting for the exhaust gas temperature amplifier, and in this case the cylinder head temperature amplifier. And again, this is something that can be done periodically if you want to double check the instrument, and over time if there's any drift of the temperature display. It should be pretty close, but again, it's an option that's available if you want to use it. And if we step through the functions, we'll go back to a return one level function, a return to main function. We're back to our cold cal again, which is a ice bath for both of the thermocouples. And we'll go ahead and bring the instrument back to the main function, displaying our ambient temperature now because the thermocouples have cooled down. And that pretty much concludes the quick demo of this instrument. Thank you very much.